At North Korea's ruling Workers' Party Congress, leader Kim Jongun declared the country has a nuclear power while calling for denuclearization. As Pyongyang reveals it won't abandon its nuclear ambitions, Seoul warns that the international community's pressure on the regime will continue. And scores of foreign tourists came to Korea over the holiday weekend as efforts continue to lure more foreigners with diverse tourism products. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Monday, May 9th. I'm Luke Clary. We begin with remarks from North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at the ongoing North Korean ruling Workers' Party Congress. In a contradiction, he declared the North as a nuclear power while calling for denuclearization. Kim also said that he's open to inter-Korean dialogue, but demanded that South Korea take necessary measures first.
Kim Jong-un began his speech by saying that North Korea's nuclear development is due to the U.S. hostile policy toward Pyongyang. He then made a series of demands for the signing of peace treaty and the withdrawal of U.S. troops from South Korea.
대조선 적대시 정책을 철회하여야 하며 정전 협정을 평화 협정으로 바꾸고 남조선에서 침략 군대와 전쟁 장비들을 모두 철수시켜야 합니다.
Kim even blamed the U.S. for inciting conflict between South and North Korea, calling on Washington to take its hands off the Korean Peninsula issues. Regarding cross-border relations, Kim proposed to hold inter-Korean military talks, saying that unification is a task of greatest significance. However, he demanded that South Korea first take necessary measures such as the suspension of psychological propaganda broadcast.
심리전 방송들과 비라 살포를 비롯하여 상대방을 자극하고 비방농상하는 일체 적대 행위들을 제체 없이 중지하여야 합니다.
Turning to national unification, Kim made reconciliatory gestures toward the South, bringing up again the Korea Federation formula which was proposed by Kim Il-sung in the 1980s. Analysts say that Kim Jong-un's remarks are interpreted as a move to disturb the alliance between South Korea and the U.S.
The South Korean government says it has concluded that North Korea doesn't intend to give up its nuclear ambitions. Subsequently, Seoul has warned that the international community's sanctions and pressure on the regime will continue.
The South Korean government issued a point-by-point criticism of Kim Jong-un's speech at the North Korean Workers' Party Congress in the form of a commentary by the Ministry of Unification spokesperson. Seoul pointed out that the North's discussion of global denuclearization while pushing for the joint development of a nuclear program with the economy blatantly demonstrates that the regime has no intention of giving up its nuclear ambitions. The commentary also added that the international community will never allow North Korea to possess nuclear arms and urged Pyongyang to show the sincerity of its denuclearization resolve by taking action. Kim Jong-un's mention of dialogue and negotiation to improve inter-Korean relations was downplayed as an insincere propaganda statement. An official with the South Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs also said that Kim's speech is merely a summary of North Korea's past claims and again confirmed that North Korea's resolve to develop nuclear arms remains unchanged. Accordingly, Seoul plans to work together with the international community to continue its strong sanctions aimed at pressuring North Korea until the regime demonstrates its sincerity in denuclearization efforts.
North Korea's 7th Congress of its ruling Workers' Party has entered the 4th day. And as we reported at the top of the show, Kim Jong-un declared North Korea as a nuclear power. Here is analysis of his declaration.
The highlight of the party congress is a report by Kim Jong-un. After having focused on nuclear development, Kim finally declared the North as a nuclear power in the report at the party congress. When his remarks were first made public on Sunday, there was a little confusion regarding the statement that North Korea would make efforts towards denuclearization of the world. But the meaning turned out to be just the opposite. Kim boldly claimed that the North will work for global denuclearization commensurate with its status as a nuclear power equal to that of the U.S. or China. In a nutshell, the declaration can be interpreted as the expression of the North's willingness to step up its nuclear development and be eventually recognized as a nuclear power. Meanwhile, North Korea's state-run Korea Central News Agency reported that the party's Central Commission unanimously approved a decision to declare the North as a nuclear power and upgrade Kim Jong-un to supreme leader. The decision says that as a responsible nuclear state, North Korea will not use nuclear weapons before aggressive forces violate its sovereignty with nuclear power.
North Korea's Workers' Party Congress is shaping up as a competition among members to demonstrate their loyalty to Kim Jong-un's dictatorship. Participants poured out statements of praise and oaths of loyalty to the young dictator. Here's more.
As soon as Kim Jong-un's drawn-out speech ends, some 3,000 participants of the Congress stand up and cheer. 87-year-old Workers' Party Secretary Kim Gi-nam, dubbed North Korea's Joseph Goebbels, steps up for the first discussion.
경애하는 김정은 동지께 최대의 영광을 드립니다.
Kim Jong-un and key officials on the stage stand up to applaud enthusiastically. The hall is flooded with a sound of loud cheers. As high-ranking officials take it in turn to deliver speeches of praise, Cho Yong-won, one of Kim Jong-un's closest associates, kneels down to deliver a message. The Congress reaches a feverish peak when the party's senior deputy director, Cho Yeon-jun, declares that the Workers' Party is the party of Kim Jong-un.
위대한 김일성 동지와 김정일 동지, 김정은 동지의 당으로 강화 발전시켜 나아가는데 적극 이바지하겠다는 것을 굳게 결의합니다.
North Korea's top news anchor Lee Chun-hee, who had not been on air during the Congress, was spotted in the audience. A discussion attended by 40 top-ranking party and military officials ends with a prayer wishing for Kim Jong-un's well-being.
우리 당과 인민이 최고領導자이신 경애하는 김정은 원수님께서 부디 안녕하시기를 삼가 축원합니다.
The discussion session, which was supposed to be a recap of the Workers' Party projects over the past 36 years, is turned into an embarrassing contest of officials blindly declaring their loyalty.
In keeping with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's declaration that the country is a responsible nuclear power, analysts now predict that North Korea will likely propose dialogue with the U.S. and South Korea without bringing up the nuclear issue for the time being.
North Korea's self-declaration as a permanent nuclear power is being interpreted as a move to normalize or improve relations with the U.S. and South Korea in fields outside the nuclear issue.
우리와 적대 관계에 있었다 하더라도 우리나라의 자주권을 존중하고 우리를 우호적으로 대하는 나라들과는 관계를 개선하고 정상화해 나갈 것입니다.
It is highly likely that the North will propose talks on a peace treaty to the U.S. as an equal nuclear power. Some observers predict that while continuing to propose dialogue, the North will postpone nuclear tests for the time being in an attempt to avoid international sanctions.
당분간 도발과 평화 공세로 남북 관계를 흔들면서 남측의 양보를 유도하는 그런 대남 전략을 수행할 것으로 보입니다.
However, it is virtually impossible that North Korea's dialogue proposals would be accepted and substantial progress would be made, as the South Korean government and the international community would never recognize North Korea as a nuclear power. If no progress is made with its dialogue proposals, North Korea will likely use it as an excuse for resuming its provocations or conducting nuclear tests or long-range missile launches.
Foreign journalists invited to North Korea thought they would be allowed to access and cover the party Congress. That has not been the case so far, as North Korean minders only offer a state-approved glimpse at the country.
This is the Scientist Street in Pyongyang. Solar panels can be seen between the buildings. Reuters news agency reported that electric bicycles have become popular in North Korea recently.
수동도 되고 자동도 되고 이러니까 아주 그 생활에 유의가 다 말입니다.
Foreign reporters also visited a subway station in Pyongyang and a maternity hospital. But they were not informed of their itineraries even directly before their departure, and said that they felt like they were locked up in a concentration camp. A brief argument erupts when a reporter takes a picture at the Kim Il-sung Museum.
This is our leaders, great leaders.
The guide confiscates the mobile phone to delete the photos.
And I think they're objecting to the fact that the photo I took has cut off a small portion of the face of the young Kim Jong-il.
Members of the foreign press complained that they were allowed to see the Congress only through taped recordings, and that they could only report on the parts disclosed to them.
Our gilded cage, because just 100 meters away is the gate. Outside the gate are the bustling streets of Pyongyang, and we're not allowed to go there without our minders.
Some cynically observed that at least they were allowed to see even a little of what goes on inside the country, as it has thus far been so heavily veiled.
Scores of foreign tourists visited Korea during the holiday weekend. Korea continues to make efforts to lure more foreigners by providing diverse tourism products.
Some 40,000 people watched a K-pop concert in the Gangnam area in Seoul. More than 5,000 of them were foreign tourists.
平常听歌也好多都是韩国的歌，然后就是韩国的好多组合也很喜欢，所以就过来。
Around 180,000 foreigners visited Korea during the holiday period last week. Most of them came to Korea to experience firsthand Korean products and music that they have seen on TV. But efforts are needed to develop more impressive tourism programs to make foreigners come back to Korea again and again. A group dance on Yeongdong-daedo Boulevard, a chicken and beer party, and a samgyetang party at the Hangang River area are good examples.
저가 관광 위주로다가 이렇게 지금까지 많이 유치를 해왔는데요. 과감하게 이러한 부분에서 탈피를 하고 좀 더 이렇게 차별화돼서 재방문 고객을 창출하는데.
Countries that are popular among foreign tourists have one thing in common. A high percentage of tourists choose them as their next travel destination. Therefore, it's about time for Korea to come up with more attractive tourism programs to make tourists want to come back again.
Living up to filial piety, a virtue of respect for one's parents or elders, is a challenging task for many these days. Next, we bring you the story of a barber who has provided free services to the elderly for decades. Take a look.
This shabby barber shop is located in the basement at the entrance of a back alley. Customers pay for their haircuts not with money, but with paper coupons. These are free haircut coupons that the owner of the shop, Min Byung-hak, distributes to the needy.
어려워서 뭐 대다 깎는 거지, 어려운 사람들. 돈만 사면 안 깎아주고.
Min had to take care of his 4 younger siblings all on his own when he was a child. His childhood dream was to help the underprivileged when he grew up. He began to put his resolution into action right after opening his barbershop in 1966. Min distributed free haircut coupons in welfare facilities and visited the needy to provide his services every Wednesday, which was his only day off.
그냥 무료로 해주시고 또 지금이야 찾아다니시면서
Over the past 50 years, he has provided his services free of charge to more than 300,000 people.
노인은 내부모고 젊은이인데 형제고 애들은 손 아들이고.
After receiving leg surgery last year, Min can no longer visit those who need his help, but he never once stopped providing his services to those who visit his shop.
It's known that many foods are better for us raw than cooked, but it's also true that we often don't find raw foods as appetizing. Coming now, we bring you a look at some raw food desserts here to satisfy your sweet tooth. They look like ordinary desserts, but looks can be deceiving.
지금 보시는 이 요리들이 다 로푸드 디저트인데요. 로푸드 디저트는 열을 가하지 않고요. 또 열을 가하더라도 45도씨 이상으로는 열을 가하지 않기 때문에 효소가 살아있는 그런 디저트입니다.
The raw food diet involves enjoying the natural flavors inherent in largely uncooked or unprocessed ingredients. So there's absolutely no flour, butter, or sugar used in raw food desserts. The raw food diet has grown so popular in Korea lately that there are now a number of classes on raw foods available. Let's learn some recipes for delicious and healthy raw food desserts. Use a food processor to blend a cup of almonds that have been soaked in water with 2 tablespoons of agave syrup. Then add a 1/3 cup of dried cranberries before blending some more. Roll the blended almond and cranberry mix into bite-sized balls, and now you have raw cranberry energy balls.
이 크랜베리 에너지볼은 이것 자체로 먹어도 굉장히 맛있고 타르트 베이스로 활용하셔도 좋습니다.
So let's make a tart with the cranberry dough. Blend 1 banana, 1½ tablespoons of cocoa powder, and 1 tablespoon of agave syrup to make the chocolate mousse filling. Spread the chocolate mousse on top of the cranberry base. Then place strawberries on top and sprinkle some almond slices and coconut powder to make a scrumptious chocolate tart. Instead of baking the tart in the oven, allow it to set in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes. The finished raw food tart is just as smooth and scrumptious as the ordinary variety. Here's a homemaker who makes raw food desserts at home.
푸드 주스도 먹고 디저트도 좀 먹다 보니까 다이어트에 대한 좀 효과도 있고 예전보다 근육통도 많이 덜어지고 소화도 좀 잘 되게 되었습니다.
This is her favorite, the raw apple crunchy roll. Blend 1 banana, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, agave syrup, and a little bit of water to make chocolate sauce. Mix some chopped almonds into the chocolate sauce. Spread the chocolate sauce all over thick apple slices and let them set in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Now enjoy the raw apple crunchy roll. These raw food desserts are delicious even without a grain of sugar and crispy even without baking. So try these sweet and healthy desserts at home. Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.